it's Aurora and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Hello new person. I talk about books and writing, and this week I am finally talking about the Vancouver Storm series by Stephanie Archer. Now, this is my absolute favourite romance series of all time. Nothing even comes close to it. I absolutely adore these books. It's why I didn't do like each book as a review, because I love them too much. I can be objective, but it's not easy. And I just thought it'd be nice to do like a video of the whole thing. So if you have not read these books before and you are curious, this is going to be spoiler free. Don't worry. And I will be honest about like the couple of flaws I do see in these books. And if you are a fan of this series and you want to watch someone wax lyrical about it, you are 100% in the right place. So that said, we're going to be doing a series overview. Then I will talk about the common threads you find within each book. And then it will be a little breakdown that will be still spoiler free of every book in the series. I won't be talking much about the newest one, the Wildcard. If you are new here, it's a single dad trope. I don't touch single dad tropes. Absolutely not my thing at all. Even with a series I adore and I want to read more of, I can't bring myself to do it. To get us started, the Vancouver Storm are a fictional NHL team based out of Vancouver, Canada. And they have not been doing very well. In fact, they've been getting progressively worse in the rankings. And they've just got a brand new coach at the start of book one. And they're really hoping, as he's quite young, he might turn things around for the team. And it's kind of like watching that happen, as well as, you know, the players falling in love. And every book centres on a different person who works for the team. It doesn't necessarily have to be a player, although it usually is. And yeah, you can read these books out of order, I will say that. I actually read Gloves Off, which is book 4 first, and then I went back and read the other 3 in order. You can do it. I don't personally recommend it, but yeah, it's 100% doable. And if there's a trope you're just not into, it's really easy to skip over it. You're not losing loads. So that's kind of a series overview. Let's get into what you'll find in the books. First up, it is the fact that they have real world problems. There is nothing worse than when the biggest issue that the character is facing is, oh my god, I'm young, I'm pretty, and I'm successful and rich. It's so hard being me. They ain't going to trade lives with me for a week. They ain't going to trade lives with any of us for a week. I do not read these books. I get frustrated. Yes, these people are young and successful and good looking. However, they have body image issues. They have family problems. You know, they have the baggage from bad breakups and like previous relationships. I like that. These characters feel real. The world feels lived in. This is something I absolutely adore about these, and it handles it well. Because these books start at like, you know, the beginning of the season, which is about September time, and usually go through into New Year's. You've got like 4 months, I think, give or take. It's not, you know, quick insta-love thing. The other thing you usually find is that there is a bit of history between them. Even in book 1, there was history. In book 2, they had history. And through that, you actually have the later books build on the history that you've seen in previous books, which, again, I really love. It makes the world feel very lived in. The other thing I will say, and this is kind of a bit of a negative with me, the guys are all ridiculously tall, muscled to the nth degree, and hung like horses. Now, I kind of get it with a series, you know, you're picking it up because this is the kind of man you like. However, there is absolutely no body diversity with the guys. There is a bit more with the women, like they're not all like massive boobs and like super tall supermodel types. They're quite average, you know, some bigger boobs, some small boobs, you know. I'm not going to keep harping on about the women's boobs. I swear this is me done with that. But, you know, there is a bit more body diversity with the women, but not a hell of a lot, I will say that. The other thing I will say is these are still, in spite of dealing with like real world issues, still very light-hearted, and they are pretty damn spicy. You know, they go in about maybe from about the halfway on, you're getting more and more spice, and it builds up, and it can build up quite quick, and I love it. I think the spice is well written. It's always really entertaining. The guys are a bit more on the slightly more dominant side, but it's not like full on S&M and like they're not gross with it. but it's, you know, they're a bit more dominant than you may be expecting in a lot of books. And the other thing is, I'm going to say that each book shares, there's no third act breakup. And I love them for this. This is probably why I love them so damn much. No third act breakup to come and mess with it. You got a good thing going and it keeps going. And I always believe in these couples and I always root for these couples. There's some more than others, and that's not a case of like the bad writing or anything like that. It's just sometimes like that third act sort of drama that happens is just so big. I'm like, you came through it and it's all wonderful and magical and you're stronger for it, and I believe in you two as a couple. So yeah, you can tell I really love these books. That said, I think it is time to just dive in and have a chat about the books themselves. Book 1 is Behind the Net. It is Jamie, who is the goalie, and Pippa, who at the start of the book becomes his assistant. Now, it turns out they have a bit of history. They went to high school together and they moved in different circles, but they knew of each other more than knew each other. And this one is very grumpy sunshine. I will say this, it doesn't feel like really dialed up to 11. He's not mad grumpy, but he's not like all smiles and sunshine. And she is, yeah, much more sort of sunshiny, but it's very realistic. She's not constantly like, yay, all of the time. So it doesn't go into like trope land. I would say this feels like the least tropey of the whole series. And it's just, yeah, it's really lovely written. The way he's encouraging of her to pursue her dreams. There's a bit of a fake dating element, which you will see through this series, actually. You know, Stephanie Archer does kind of like a fake dating, and she does it well, so I'm not mad at it. Maybe I should be, but I'm really not. And, yeah, we've got a little bit of fake dating going on. It's just like a hint of it. It's not throughout the whole book. And we also have the setup that is going to be Rory and Hazel. Book 2 is The Fake Out, and this is Rory, who is the captain, and Hazel, who is one of the physiotherapists for the team. She's not his physio. I feel like we should kind of make a bit of a note of that, because you wouldn't date your physio, just like you wouldn't date your doctor. And yeah, they end up fake dating because her ex has also joined the team. She is unfortunately his physio. And yeah, there is a bit of a like, you don't have to do this. And yet she does stick with it because she wants to be seen as professional. But she wants her own like yoga studio, and she wants to be a physio for people who are, you know, not just ice hockey players. She wants to have like this really nice, body positive, very inclusive space. So, you know, and I love that. It's a beautiful message. It's a really nice message throughout this whole book with Pippa. Not Pippa. It's a really nice message throughout the whole book with Hazel. She's a really lovely character. I really enjoy her. And just the way they annoy her ex is just so much fun. And this does have my absolute favourite of the third act like dramas. I think this one is incredible. It's brilliant. Had me on the edge of my seat, even though I knew they were going to be okay. Because one, these books all have a happily ever after. That's kind of the thing with these like romance books. Of any romance book, you're going to get happily ever after. And, you know, I'd read book 4 already. I knew they were fine. But I was still like, what? So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Again, it didn't feel like huge tropey, even though, yeah, we had the fake dating. But the characters themselves, we didn't have any real, like, sort of grumpy, sunshiny-esque type stuff. I wouldn't have classed them as a couple in any particular trope. I, again, thoroughly enjoyed the book. And we meet Hayden more in this book. And we meet Darcy, who is his best friend's girlfriend. So that brings us on to book 3, The Wingman, Hayden and Darcy. This is the defenseman, or one of the 2 defensemen in the team, and an analyst. She is not an analyst for the team. So the first one who's not actually in any way worked for the team at the start of the book. And this is a best friends to lovers. They knew each other from like their college, university days. They were in the same class together, which is how they met. But then she ended up at a party also meeting his best friend, and his best friend swooped in and got there first. Now, Hayden's got a bit of a playboy reputation, not in a nasty way. He's always very honest with like women. I don't get serious. And Darcy has always been with the same guy. You know, she was with her ex for 8 years before they split up, and she's never dated. So this is a more like dating lessons. He's trying to teach her how to kind of be single, how to go out and date and have that kind of fun. But he's clearly fancies her, so you know it's difficult for him, to say the least. Which is where actually we start to get Volkov more introduced. He has either been mentioned and has had like maybe a line in previous books. This is where we get more of Volkov, and he is personally my favourite character. He's my favourite on the team. I love Volkov. So let's just dive right in. It's book 4. It is Alexei Volkov and Dr. Georgia Green. Now, he is the defenseman, the other defenseman for the Vancouver Storm, and she is a team doctor. Again, important to note, not his doctor, because that would be unprofessional and weird and a bit gross. You know, you don't bonk your doctor for a reason. So, these two are a marriage of convenience. This is enemies to lovers. My God, they hate each other. This is my favourite enemies to lovers, because even when like the spicy scene's happening and they start getting it on, they still hate each other. I absolutely love it. It's a marriage of convenience. The banter between these two is fantastic because, you know, he snarks at her, she snarks right back. Neither's taking any prisoners here. I adore these two. He is my favourite of the whole team. Absolutely love him. And this one's a nice one as well because he is actually a bit older. He is now at the end of his career, and he knows the end of his career is coming. That, you know, it's the reality with sport. You know, you don't keep playing to your 40s and 50s and 60s. This is where you start looking at other things. You know, sport very much a young man's game. Full contact sport, definitely a young man's game. And this is something that goes throughout the book, which I really enjoyed. It added another level to it that other books in the series didn't have. We do see a bit more of Ward in this one as well. And that brings us on to book 5, The Wild Card. This is Ward and Jordan. Ward is, as I've said a few times, he is the head coach. And Jordan is the owner of the local bar that they go to. Not only that, her dad owns the Vancouver Storm ice hockey team. Oh, there are certain people you don't get it on with, and your boss's daughter is probably on that list. So I wish this wasn't a single dad trope because I really want to read this. This book is so very like me all over it, and yet like I can't with the single dad bit. I'm sorry, I don't find kids cute. I find them irritating. So yeah, I haven't read it. I don't know who it's setting up for the next book. I'm gutted. I want to know these things. It's probably something eventually I'm just going to go and like read an overview. So yeah, that's actually all I've got for you today. Do let me know in the comments if you have read these books and which one is your favourite. Do let me know if this has like piqued your interest, and just, you know, let me know if you found this video helpful or interesting or whatever. You know, help just come and say hi, leave an emoji. As far as I'm concerned, come and engage with us. We're friendly here. All just me. Yeah, give us a like if you haven't already, and do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because it massively helps out my tiny little channel against the massive algorithm. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.